Have you ever noticed that we as parents seem to have a love-hate relationship with toys? Like, we buy them for our kids, but then it seems like we spend so much time getting annoyed by them. And it's my theory that we wouldn't be so annoyed by toys if we could just know ahead of time which toys were not a waste of money. It's not that we don't want our kids to have toys, it's that we worked hard for that money. We don't really want to waste our money on something that's gonna get played with twice and then sit in our living room looking like an eyesore for the next years and collecting dust. So, which toys are actually worth the money? I am a mom to 3 boys who love their toys, and in this video I am going to be sharing the toys that to me have been worth the purchase cost. These toys I'm recommending are not necessarily going to be the cheapest toys, but these are toys that have a very good cost per use, and that is what we're looking for. So I'm going to be sharing with you the toys that, at least in my household, have been used for so many hours that they are very well worth the price that I paid for them. I will be linking to these in the description below if you are looking for quality toys that your kids can get a lot of use out of. First up, building toys. Building is such good play for kids, has many educational opportunities, and they like it. So I do suggest having a variety of building toys, especially at different stages. This is one that has stood the test of time for us, which is just basic building blocks. There are many variations of basic wooden building blocks. This tub was kind of fun, especially when they're toddlers, because they can push it through the different holes and the different shapes. But even when they're not toddlers, they can continue to build stuff out of this, and you can build with them. I mean, building is fun. For kids who are a little older, we have the ubiquitous Magna-Tiles. I am convinced that Magna-Tiles is going to be like one of those nostalgic toys for all kids growing up in the 2020s that, oh yeah, everybody played with Magna-Tiles. Because they are awesome, number one. So you might already have Magna-Tiles. As a Magna-Tile mom, I do want to make a couple suggestions, which is one, try to invest in bigger pieces like this. These big base pieces really can help with constructing stronger and bigger projects that they're building. And also these wheeled car type pieces they get a lot of use. They might sometimes get fought over, so have a couple of these. These are some of the pieces to look out for when you are looking for Magna-Tile sets to expand your collection. Of course, the classic, just basic shapes are also useful, but big pieces and cars, get those. If your kids are still in the choking hazard stage, you gotta get your Duplos. These are excellent. What's nice about them compared to wooden blocks is, of course, that they stick together, so it allows you to build different things. If your kids are out of the choking hazard stage, that's when you move up to Lego, and Lego kits are awesome. I still really, I love a good creative Lego kit, but what I have learned from observing my children and their own requests is get some base plates. So that might not seem like the most exciting purchase, but some base plates will really help them to be able to make their own creations. Getting those basic Lego sets, getting creative Lego sets, as well as base plates are great. Also, minifigures. They just love the minifigures. We're always setting up minifigures. We got our base plates, we got our Legos, we can build whatever we want. Next category is ride-on vehicles. And this looks a little bit different depending on the age of your kids. I love to start with this, a glider bike. This has been one of our best toy purchases. You might notice this poor glider bike looks a little used and abused, but I mean, this has 75,000 miles on it. It's about 5 years old, and it would have been used every single day of the past 5 years, except for there's been some days when we just have not been at home. So that's about the only reason they haven't used it. And did I mention I have 3 boys? So yes, as one grew out of it, the next one has been growing into it. Glider bikes, get them. By around age 3, 4 years old, they can start transitioning into a pedal bike. This next toy, I will warn you, also probably has 75,000 miles on it. And that is a car. This is the kind of car you can push with your feet. Now the kids are gonna say that they want one of those electric cars that they can ride on and just sit there and it moves very slowly with an electric battery. They're gonna love that idea. They're gonna think that they want that. But most likely, I'm just gonna tell you, it's the car that's powered by foot pedals that's gonna get a lot more use. The electric cars might have that big wow factor, but you gotta keep the batteries charged and the electronics can kind of go wonky and they actually go really slowly. So between the two, I would go for the foot-powered car for a better value. Another great ride-on vehicle is the classic pedal tractor. Now I'm not going to show you ours because if you saw it, you might cry at its pitiful condition. The steering wheel's gone, the front wheel falls off, and they have to put it back on every time they ride it. We went with a pretty cheap, cheap quality pedal tractor. Upon further reflection with 3 boys, we probably should have gone for the better quality pedal tractors because if you get one of those really, really good old-fashioned metal ones, they will last for generations. But if you go for the cheap one, be forewarned, it'll get a lot of use, but it might gradually just fall apart. Next category is food toys. And of course, there is so many variations of those. We have a couple different sets. This is one of my favorite toys because I'm sure as a parent, you've always just dreamed of being served a jelly, tomato, cheese, lettuce, mustard, onion, and bologna sandwich by your preschooler. I mean, that's just peak parenthood experience right there. And then to go with your food toys, you definitely want a cash register so that they can charge you $500 for the sandwich and you can pay them and they can put it in. These have gotten so much use. They're so great for pretend play, modeling, and lots of learning language opportunities with using food toys and the cash register. That really works. My next worthwhile category would be animal toys. So we have quite a few of these different. We've got like some farm animals, ocean animals, and we've got the dinosaurs here. These are awesome. They get a lot of use. They get organized into armies. They get organized into farms. They get organized into everything. Little friends talking to each other. Great imaginary play. We've gotten so many hours of use out of these. If you want nice quality, look for Schleich. This is one that is from Schleich. We have very few because those are more expensive. You can also just get the cheaper ones. These are some great sharks. Got a nice shark set. Those are fun, exciting, adventurous, and terrifying. So next worthwhile category would be musical toys. I just keep mine in a box, but I got a bunch of musical, like a small set of wooden Montessori musical toys a while back, years ago, and we have just kept using them. Each kid likes them. They use them different ways in different stages, but they're so much fun, from babies up until school age, having little instruments. And this is a collection that will probably grow over time as your kids get older. One set I'd like to get is maybe some little handbells, the colorful handbells, or a little electric keyboard as we start exploring music more. But you can have a harmonica. It's very hilarious to see a kid playing a harmonica. We have this kind. Now, musical instruments can be a little noisy, so this is maybe not the toy you want to have out at all times of day, but they are very much worth it. Next very worthwhile toy is the Matchbox car, Hot Wheels car, whatever your preferred brand. We have quite a few of these and they get used for hours. They get arranged, they get sorted, they're talking to each other, they're fighting with each other. They're doing all sorts of things cars do and things cars do not do. But these get so much use. And I also think it is very helpful to have some accessories. We haven't really gone for like the plastic fancy tracks. I feel like those tend to be pretty expensive and pretty bulky and also sometimes kind of flimsy for how much use you get out of them. But having some accessories has been useful. So one that has gotten a lot of use has been this Melissa and Doug like car wash, parking lot, has an elevator, has a place where you can go inside right there. That's been fun. We also have one of those road city rugs so they can be driving all over the streets on the rug. And that is a lot of fun. The next toy that just keeps on giving is Play-Doh. Now, if your kids are really young, 1 to 2 years old, Play-Doh can be a lot more stressful. You do have to be right there with them. They will probably try to eat it, throw it on the floor, do various things of that sort. So with little kids, this is a completely supervised toy. And to reduce mess when they are very little is I will just give them one color at a time when they're very little and maybe 1 or 2 accessories with it at a time, and I'll be right there with them. But as kids get to the 3, 4, 5, 6 age stage, Play-Doh can be something that you sit them down with their Play-Doh and accessories, and an hour and a half later, they're still working at it, and they're still serving you Play-Doh cookies, you know, to go with your sandwich you had earlier. You don't necessarily need the super fancy Play-Doh accessories. We do have some of them. So Play-Doh has this pretty fun line of vehicles for Play-Doh, and those are fun because you can play with them as a normal vehicle, as you do, but you can also make stuff. So this is like a cement truck. So you turn this and it's shooting out Play-Doh cement, you know, as you turn and twist. So we have a couple of vehicles. I also just use plain old normal kitchen things. So I give them little cookie cutters so they can make little gingerbread men. You can give them a little rolling pin. So you can get some more generic things, you know, cups, knives, forks, those types of things. Play-Doh, you will get your money's worth. Now with little kids, they might not yet be old enough for real sports equipment, but sporty type toys are a really good investment. You can get a lot of use out of them. So we have a variety of these. We got a basketball, we got a soccer ball, and if you're giving these to your kids, I highly recommend don't just give your kids some balls or sports toys, but actually get out there and play with them. So try to choose toys that you will enjoy playing with as well. This is one very classic set, the Velcro handlebar things that you can get out and throw. And this is great with little kids because they don't require quite as much coordination as actually catching a ball. You just have to get your little paddle out in front of the ball and it'll stick to it. So this has been a really fun one with little kids. It's one that I enjoy using with them. So for toys that need maybe parental assistance, I do recommend get one that you will enjoy playing with your kids and you can make good memories using together. Another sporty toy that has got a lot of use has been these hockey sticks, and you can see they've been very well mended. I think, you know, this was a garage sale find, a little bit flimsy, but we let them play hockey in the house with their little hockey puck, and they will just play and play and play because we have the solid floors, the solid stone floors, and they absolutely love it. So those are the toys that have really given us the best value in our own home over the past years of raising our kids. Now I did mention I only have boys, but I did grow up in a house full of girls. So if I had girls, I would probably also add dress-up clothes to the mix, and they don't have to be clothes specifically branded as dress-up clothes. Actually, some wacky or super fancy clothes from thrift stores can be really great for dress-up clothes because they tend to be sturdier and you can get a nice wide variety. We did so much with dress-up clothes growing up. And of course, dolls. We love our dolls, especially dressing up those dolls and feeding them, taking care of them, putting them in strollers. Those were all hits for me and all my sisters growing up, and I think are just so classic. So let me know in the comments down below, what have been the toys that have been the best value for your family? I want to hear from you. See you next time. Bye.